In May 1980, South Korea was under the grip of a military dictatorship. Students in Gwangju began peaceful protests, demanding democracy and an end to martial law. The streets filled with young voices chanting for freedom, their banners waving against a backdrop of fear. Authorities watched closely, setting the stage for a tragic confrontation. This was the spark that would ignite one of Korea's darkest chapters. The government responded with an iron fist, declaring full martial law. Soldiers armed with rifles and batons flooded the streets, blocking intersections and intimidating civilians. Loudspeakers blared orders, warning citizens to stay indoors. The once hopeful protests now faced brutal suppression. The people of Gwangju realized their fight for democracy would come at a terrible cost. Paratroopers descended upon the protesters with unmatched brutality. Batons struck indiscriminately, and blood stained the pavement. Students and citizens alike were beaten, dragged away, or left wounded in the chaos. The government's message was clear: dissent would not be tolerated. Yet the violence only deepened the resolve of those who survived. As the military's violence escalated, ordinary citizens took up arms. Makeshift weapons, iron pipes, Molotov cocktails were gathered in defiance. Barricades were built from overturned vehicles and debris. The people of Gwangju, no longer passive, fought back with desperate courage. This marked the shift from protest to outright rebellion. Gwangju became a city united. Neighborhoods organized food and medical aid for the wounded. Citizens of all ages stood together, guarding barricades and sharing supplies. For a brief moment, the city functioned independently of the regime. This was the spirit of the Gwangju Uprising, a community refusing to surrender. For a few days, the military retreated, and Gwangju celebrated. The provincial hall, once a symbol of oppression, became a rallying point for the liberated city. Prisoners were freed, and hope briefly flourished. But the government was not finished. The calm was merely the eye of the storm. The regime struck back with overwhelming force. Tanks rolled into the city, and snipers took positions on rooftops. The streets, once filled with hope, became killing zones. Civilians scrambled for cover as gunfire echoed through the alleys. The government's message was ruthless. Resistance would be crushed at any cost. The final assault was merciless. Soldiers fired into crowds, and bodies piled in the streets. Families searched frantically for missing loved ones, only to find them among the dead. The massacre was systematic, a deliberate act to erase dissent. Gwangju became a city of mourning, its streets stained with blood. After the massacre, an eerie silence fell over Gwangju. The streets were empty, save for military patrols. Newspapers were censored, and whispers replaced open discussion. The government had won, but the people's anger simmered beneath the surface. Fear ruled, but it could not extinguish memory. Though suppressed, the Gwangju Uprising planted seeds of change. Secret memorials honored the dead, and stories were passed in hushed tones. Years later, the democracy movement would rise again, stronger than ever. Gwangju's sacrifice became a cornerstone of South Korea's fight for freedom, a dark chapter that refused to be forgotten.